And so tell me a little bit about if there's people that are interested in moving to China like you did and moving to you're in Shanghai, correct?
Yes, Shanghai.
So either moving to Shanghai or moving to China for opportunities. Where do you think the best places to be are in terms of city, in terms of specific, obviously you might be biased with being in an accelerator, but are there other opportunities you see? Like if somebody wanted to say, stay with a large consulting firm and come to China, is that an option? What are the options for people outside of China that want to kind of go there and they see such big opportunity?
Yeah. So geographically, so we can answer in terms of geographies and in terms of industries. I think
Hmm.
in terms of geographies, it's really just the three tier one cities, Shenzhen, Beijing, and Shanghai, that are interesting most of the times, because smaller cities are much less international than the big cities. And among those three big cities, it's really Shanghai that's the most international one. So me coming from Shanghai to Beijing, I already feel, wow, that's much more Chinese
Okay.
than what I'm used to in Shanghai. And that's something you need to take into account. In terms of industry, to be honest, without speaking Chinese, it's super hard. So if you want to join any consulting firm without speaking Chinese, you have two options: either forget about it, or you are senior enough, so you have done like 3, 4, 5 years at a consulting firm, and then you make a transition. And then what happens is they will give you someone who translates for you. And that means your seniority must be high enough and your expertise in a certain area needs to be high enough in order for that to justify them giving you a translator.
It's interesting. So it's pretty rare. You got to be pretty senior, pretty valuable. So tell me a little bit about specifics around. So you said you have to know Chinese. So basically, that's, I assume, mostly native, if not basically fully fluent, like business fluent at least.
Exactly. So it's really you really need to be pretty fluent. Otherwise, especially business Chinese is a
Are you
whole.
yourself fluent?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And so
So
you're okay because you're dealing with people trying to come in, which the majority speak English, I assume. Or
exactly. So that's the loophole.
yeah.
One of 10 positions you find are positions where it's not really required to speak Chinese, and those are mostly positions that are outward facing, so communicating with the outside world.
Hmm.
And for me, that's the case. I mean, for 90% of my job, when I talk to the Singaporean government, when I talk to startups in Berlin, and so on, I don't need to speak Chinese.
Hmm.
Then, of course, there's these 10% where we talk to the Chinese government, for example, where it would be nice for me to be fluent and speak perfect Chinese. But then again, Patrick, that's a challenge that takes probably
Years,
5 years to
years.
master.
And are you going to try to master it? What's the plan for you? Are you going to be in Shanghai for 5 years, 2 years? What do you have a roadmap for yourself at all, or is it just as long as you're seeing good opportunities and the business is doing well, you'll stay?
So I have a couple of, in Germany you say you have irons in the fire,
Yeah, yeah.
so they are hot now and you need to
Do the work.
uh,
Yeah.
do the work. And so until these irons are finished, I will not leave.
Hmm.
That will probably take, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 years.
Hmm.
And once I'm done with these irons, I can then decide, do I see bigger opportunities now with my new background, my new experience outside? So maybe as someone who connects China and the rest of the world from outside of China, which would be possible, or do I see great opportunities within China that I'm gonna stay? And that being said, what I do right now is I do practice Chinese every day,
Hmm.
try to get better at it, but I'm also realistic and know that I have super high, like I work a lot, and some people really dedicate the full day to learning Chinese. So I'm definitely progressing slower than some of my peers.